Welcome back to Spiteful Lovers in a Perfect World. And last time, when we left off, we were in the middle of doing lines. And we're about to start this episode off by doing another line. So let's just have a quick look at these. Third swap. After the death serum was oxidized before refilling the bags herself, the killer must have swapped the bags containing the serums between Thales' and Wheaton's rooms. Suspects bond. Ollie and Mr. Whedon has forged an extremely strong connection. They'd probably do anything to help each other, but could they? Family consent. All living family members must give their written consent to the patient choosing to take the death serum. Vent connects up to Thales' and Mr. Whedon's rooms, too small for male power to fit through. So, I think I know. This might be contradiction. I think I've just discovered something quite interesting. Is there something relevant? I don't know yet, but just listen to this. As we all know, in order to get approved to take the serum, you need consent from your family. Only your family. Anyone else are just voices in the wind. That's true. The last it happened was someone I knew. A good friend of mine I thought still had a few decades left in her. But her family all signed off on it, so there was nothing I could do. I'm sorry for your loss. It's hardly a perfect system, but what else can you do? Right, and something similar was the case for a couple of people we've met during this trial. He's still alive for now, but it was planned for our friend Mr. Whedon to take the death serum that day. Many of his students were there to see him off, including Ollie. Not a single one could have done something about it. To them, it was inevitable. I wonder if Ollie would have just accepted them. Say what you mean, without the sugarcoating! Ollie doesn't seem the type to take hits sitting down, especially not the loss of his beloved teacher. If met with an inevitable tragedy, I'd expect to see anger at the very least, or sorrow. But I didn't see much of either of those things from him. He accepted it rather quickly. I wonder why. If I was him, I would, I don't know, try to do something about it, you know? Interesting! Very interesting indeed! So that's that. What's what exactly? It just seemed like a couple of discounted deductions to me. That's logical deductions in a nutshell, I guess. But it isn't, Your Honor. These deductions together allow us to make an important discovery. Namely, the killer's true identity. Say what now? So you intend to follow through with this? Don't worry, Sophie. I'm behind you 100%, no matter what happens. Thanks, Paula. It means a lot to me. I hope you understand the gravity of such words. Can you back up that claim, I wonder? I never say anything I'm not confident about. I'm no bluffing attorney. Not like a certain bluffing defense attorney from 500 years ago. This is not your first time making an accusation of such caliber. And last time you were gravely wrong about it. This time there will be no such mistakes. You get one chance. Understand? Understood, Your Honor. Do you think you can do it? Of course, I know which suspect I have in mind. No, that's not what I meant. I mean, will you be able to handle it? Accusing me was no easy feat, I know that much. Suppose I made it obvious from my facial expression. I just want to know that you'll be okay accusing someone else. No matter who you have in mind, it won't be easy. I'll be fine, but thank you for your consent. Tick-tock, Miss Lang! The clock is ticking! I understand, then let's stop the theatrics. The killer is... I see. I couldn't do it after all. Was my resolve too weak? Paula, Ophelia, I'm sorry. Well, you knew it was coming. Oh, there's no optional dialogue. That's enough. I see no reason to further prolong the trial. The defense has made a mockery of its case in this court. As such, I find the defendant Miss Ophelia Payne guilty. The defendant will submit to the court immediately. That is all. The court is adjourned. No, it can't end like this. I don't need it. Let's... So, We finally reached the end of the line. The killer is none other than the middle school student Ollie Anderson. What? 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 Defense! Explain yourself at once! You would accuse a child of 10th your age? This is preposterous. Yeah, it's much simpler than you think, Your Honor. The only way anyone could have performed that third swamp is with the vent. But only someone of extremely small stature will be able to fit through it. The only viable candidate is Ollie. You know, somehow I never thought you'd bring it this far. But that doesn't mean I can't refute everything you're saying. Even ever the intimidating component to the end, huh? Someone's got their spark back. Ollie has no motive to speak of. What reason would he have to kill Dr. Thales, the man he didn't know? And you better have the evidence to back it up. Evidence of a motive against the victim? Yeah, sure, why not? Easy. Seriously? Sophie, you better not be getting in over your head here. Don't worry about it. I got this, probably anyway. The evidence that proves Ollie's motive against Dr. Thales is... I'm unimpressed. Oops, might have gotten a little carried away. Perhaps next time you can think with your head, not your pointer finger. But I don't even point! I do this! With my whole palm! You know what I meant. Whatever, let's just start over. That was funny. But no, I don't have any proof. I have no proof because Ollie has no motive against Dr. Thales. Then I guess we're done here! Tut, let me finish first. Ollie's a peaceful type. He wouldn't hurt a fly, and I admit this. But the swap goes two ways. He wasn't trying to kill Dr. Thales. He was trying to save Mr. Whedon. Save him! Of course. Do you think he would stand idly by while his mentor was allowing himself to die? He couldn't interfere legally. Only family members can do that, and Pala, well. I didn't say a peep against him. So he did the only other thing he could, swap the serums in the hope it would save Mr. Whedon's life. And it did. His plan worked, but at a cost. So Dr. Thales' death was just an unintended side effect of Mr. Whedon's survival. Precisely, Your Honor. But why go through all this trouble? Even if Mr. Whedon did indeed live, he would just reschedule and die again at a later date. Perhaps Ollie was planning to talk him out of it. Or perhaps he didn't think that far ahead. Considering his plan didn't involve changing the colours of the serums, we already know it wasn't perfect. It's likely his plan was made without realising the serums would be different colours. To my knowledge, Ophelia never tutored him on the matters of the depth and immortality serums. But even with this complication, he had to proceed with the plan anyway in hopes it would work. It was his only option to save his teacher's life, after all. But what about the gloves? Don't you think those will be too big for him to put on? Not the small size. That was too small even for you, and you're tiny. Perfect fit for a child, I would imagine. I'm not that short. Lies, step stool. But bringing up the gloves actually takes me to my next point. We know Paula could not have used the gloves in their plan. However, this does not apply to Ollie, who visited Mr. Whedon along with several other students. With so many people there, providing an easy distraction to nab the gloves off the wall. And remember, this visit happened before any of his criminal actions. The timeline matches up. But there's one more thing you failed to address. You think Ollie used the shattering of the beaker to his advantage, but this happened by chance. If you believe his plan was premeditated, he cannot have used this chance happening. That's why you're wrong. Do you remember who broke that beaker in the first place? It was Ollie. That was no accident. He did it on purpose. It certainly seems plausible. More than plausible, Your Honor. Probable. Face it, Factora. I've shown an equally valid possibility as your theory. Equally valid won't cut it. If you have no decisive evidence, your theory is as good as nothing. You can't disprove it. As long as the possibility exists, there's room to doubt your theory. Then allow me to put those fears to rest and quell those doubts! How do you intend to do that? Well, Mix Factora, we're all waiting. You accuse Ollie of the murder. Then let's call him to the stand. He should be allowed to defend himself. But how can you be sure he'll be able to adequately disprove what I say? I trust in my theory as you trust in yours. This isn't a question of facts, it's the question of our wills. When you adamantly defended Paula, that wasn't because the facts said she was innocent. It was because you believed in her with all your heart. This is much the same thing. Factora, I know you're not on my side, but I'm glad you're so like this, even after everything. Very well then, the defense accepts the prosecution's proposal, and the court has reached a decision. Bailiff, bring Ollie Anderson before us once again. Witness, I presume you have been watching this trial unfold. I suppose we may take that as a yes. You understand why you're here. The defense accuses you of the murder of Dr. Igor Thales. Allow me to confirm something. Witness, you did not kill him, correct? It appears the witness may be in shock. So I ask you to go easy on him. This must be a very difficult situation for you, Ollie. If you want, I can call a recess to allow you to get your bearings. No, that's very nice, but if I wait any longer, those meanies will just make more dumb stuff up. By which you mean me and Paula? All of you guys, you did nothing but say terrible things about me and my friends. First Miss Ophelia, then me. I bet if things keep going, you'll do the same to Mr. Whedon, too. I can't deny that I did find him somewhat suspicious at one point. I didn't consider what this must be like for Ollie. He never asked for any of this. Paula, am I doing the right thing? Accusing a child of such a heinous crime? I don't know, Sophie, but I know your heart's in the right place. Trying to save me and Ophelia. Those are good qualities of an attorney and a friend. But sometimes the truth can lead us to horrible places. You're telling me. I didn't kill anyone. Even if you say I did, I didn't. If that's true, then who did? I don't know. I don't want anyone to be guilty. Maybe it was just an accident. No one would kill him on purpose. If that's the case, your friend the nurse can still be charged with gross negligence or manslaughter. I don't know. Poor kid. I don't think he meant to kill anybody. But then this. That's fine. I'm not asking you to accuse anyone. I'm just trying to find out the truth. In fact, probably better you don't. Don't want Paula to come under fire again. Let's not beat around the bush. You have been accused of murder. The sensible thing to do at this junction is defend yourself. I want to make it very clear that you do not have to. It is within your right to refuse to testify. However, I think it would benefit the court greatly to hear your side of the story. No, it's okay. I'll testify. Mr. Whedon told me to take even the harshest situations with a smile. Deep breath in, deep breath out. They really do seem like family. More than the actual brother and sister. If that's true, I better up my being a good sister game. I don't think you won many points with your murder plot. Alright, here goes nothing. Deep breath in. I didn't kill that guy. Neither did Miss Ophelia or Mr. Whedon. I never lied before. I really did see a red serum in the immortality bag and a clear serum in the death bag. If you think I swapped the serums while Miss Ophelia was sweeping, you're wrong. She'd have seen me. And I can't have swapped that second time either, since I was in the waiting room by then. Even if I did do it, why would I risk being seen to double check the syringe in the dead guy's room? I never crawled through the vent either. Can't prove I did. So, start this stupid trial already. You don't need to arrest anybody. Ollie, I know you want to find a peaceful solution to all this, but we can't. It's impossible. Because to stop now would be giving up the truth. The truth is stupid anyway. Can't we all just get along? Hoping for a better world. That's all well and good. But you cannot just hope. You must fight for it. Do you understand me, Ollie? No more fighting. I'm all tuckered out. It appears the witness is in an extremely volatile state. Miss Lang, I will grant you your right to a cross-examination on one condition. What would that be, Your Honor? If you push him too far, too hard, there will be consequences. About yay much. Sound fair? I will not have you errantly distress our witness more than he already has been. He is a child, after all. Understood, Your Honor. Good. I hope you don't disappoint. Well, it's time to expose this kid for the dirty murderer he actually is. Well, we'll ask him a few questions. We don't want to get on the judge's bad side. But if someone had to have killed him, if someone had to have killed him, if it wasn't any of those three, who else could it have been? I don't know. I'm just trying to protect my friends. In theory, apart from you three, the next best suspect will be Paula Whedon. But I don't want to accuse her either. She's Mr. Whedon's sister. I can't throw her under the bus. This kid has more integrity than I do, apparently. I know you wish to believe in her innocence. But the fact is, with your testimony the way it is, Miss Payne is the only reasonable suspect. But she didn't do it. Oh, there's no winning, is there? What do I think? Should I press further here? Probably not. Moving along, let's just hear why you say you're innocent. This was just after you and Ophelia had finished sweeping up the broken shards of that beaker, correct? I know you think I broke that beaker on purpose, but it really was an accident. Honest. Well, that's odd. If you're innocent, how could you possibly have seen the serums as the right colours? We know the real killer must have swapped the serums during the time when Ophelia was sweeping. And if they did, you should have seen red in death and clear in immortality. The opposite of what you claim. I don't know. Ollie, please try and stay calm. Deep breaths. Deep breaths. I'm fine. It's alright. I don't know why Ollie's still sticking to the story. Can't exactly admit he lied, so he's gonna force into saying he was telling the truth. Even if it just makes things worse for him in the long run. Technically, he probably isn't lying. I already really did see the serums with the right colours. Before he swapped them, that is. So the lie is just that Ophelia saw them with him. What do I think? Should I press further here? Yeah, let's leave this one for now. We'll come back to them all later. That's all I want to ask. Let's keep going. That's not necessarily true. I acknowledge the two of you were sweeping together, however. It would have taken a paltry amount of effort to step out for a moment to tamper with the serums. And as Ophelia was otherwise occupied with cleaning the glass, I doubt she would have noticed. But she would have surely noticed the glass not being scrapped up at the rate she expected. There's a big difference between one person and two people working on the same task. The latter is quite literally double as productive. I don't believe it would have stuck out to her as particularly strange in a moment. Especially considering the sweeping itself only took 5 minutes, if Ollie's previous testimony is true. But that time itself makes it hard for me to do anything, right? Does it? I don't know. It would be hard for me to mess stuff up within only 5 minutes, I think. What you were doing was moving 2 syringes between their respective bags. That takes mere seconds. I don't believe the time frame causes any issue. What do I think? Should I press further here? Maybe later. I've thoroughly established my argument already. Let's get back to the testimony. So you said earlier in the trial too, but can anyone confirm this? There's a receptionist that was there. I wouldn't trust his testimony, to be honest. He was busy gossiping with the other staff members. That's true. He knew that they were talking about some weird stuff back there. Seems like that got his mind off things. Good. Do you have any other evidence that you were in the waiting room at that time? I guess not. You just have to believe me. Well, I don't, so that's not very helpful for me. What do I think? Should I press further here? I have no other questions to ask. Let's proceed. Actually, I don't think that was risky at all. The chaos of the shift change would have masked your movements. I don't know about that. If anything, it would have just made it harder for me to sneak around. More people in the hallway means more people who could have seen me, you know? It's not that simple. You're acting as Ophelia's aide, but she wouldn't have kept quiet. People wouldn't think twice about you entering one of the patient's rooms. They might have even thought you belonged there. I didn't even feel suspicious. They had places to be, and couldn't stick their noses into it. Agree to disagree. What do I think? Should I press further here? Agree to disagree indeed. Well, that should be fairly easy to do. You just examine the vent itself. If there's a conspicuous lack of dust inside, that should prove my theory. What? Are you serious? I'm afraid we can't do that. Your theory remains nothing but a baseless conjecture, remember? If it had any ground to stand on, any at all, maybe I would be willing to hear out that request. But as it stands, you have no right to ask we examine anything based on only your ramblings. Examining an event would give us that ground to stand on. You can't deny us that. Even if you did find the dust was missing, then what? A forensics technology has lost the ability to tell when specifically the dust would have vanished. You'll be unable to prove that it is actually relevant to the crime. What they said. Several days have passed since the murder anyhow. There's no guarantee it would still be gone. Oh, this argument is making my head hurt. What do I think? Should I press further? I yield. I suppose we'll get to check that vent after all, unfortunately. If only it were that simple. But someone did commit a murder, whether you like it or not. It is the duty of the court of the law to bring criminals to justice wherever they may be. Your idealism is admirable, Ollie, but unrealistic. No fair. This isn't fair. None of this would have happened anyway, if not for... If not for what? Nothing. I didn't mean to say that. Oh, I'm not gonna finish that sentence. I was just gonna say something stupid anyway. I think he was gonna say, if not for power. But he couldn't, as would have revealed what he knows. What do I think? Should I press further here? Don't worry, I know what you were thinking anyway. You need to tell me. Well, this is it. It's all or nothing. And the feeling this really will be the final testimony. So what's our strategy here? There's no way around it. We're gonna have to press Ollie for more information. That means risking pushing him too far, but you can use your own judgment to avoid that, I hope. Unless it's just you'll get on my case again. Can't hold back now. Ophelia's fate is on the line. You got it, I'll give it my best shot. That last statement, I might try that again. Ollie, I insist. What were you going to say? I just said, I'm not going to tell you. That's why the witness has the right not to speak if he doesn't want to. If this is necessary badgering, I enforce on him a penalty. Fine, then. Keep your secrets. Ollie, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to name a suspect. What? Why? I don't want anyone to be guilty. It would just be better if we could all just get along. Defense? What in the world was that? You have no right to force a witness to speak on something he doesn't want to speak on. For that, I'm forced to hand down a penalty. I guess that wasn't the smartest move. Ollie, you said earlier you really did break the beaker by accident. That's new information. Can you elaborate on that? Okay. I just knocked it off the tray of stuff Ophelia was carrying. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Thank you for telling us. May you edit your testimony whilst you're at it? Okay, I like you, judgy person. A judgy person, damn. I accidentally broke that beaker by knocking it over from the tray Miss Ophelia was carrying. How is she carrying the tray? Is this relevant? Trust me, I'm going somewhere with this. The way you normally hold a tray, with arms at her sides. So it was around chest height for her. She's much taller than you, isn't she? So chest height for her, maybe around forehead height for you. If that's the case, how did you accidentally knock over a beaker that was supposedly above you? Huh? During the witness overruled. It is not hard to come up with an explanation. Anyhow, the witness must have merely bumped into the defendant and caused her to drop the beaker. This is what happened, yes? Oh, yeah, that's right. With the judge on Ollie's side, it would be harder than I thought to trip him up. As Your Honor has a hidden soft spot for kids, I never knew. It appears you're unable to back up the claim that Ophelia would have seen you swap the serums. However, if you cannot, then your testimony means nothing. Give me proof of what you say, or I cannot accept it. I don't know. I don't have any. What do you want from me? Slang, what you say is true, yes? But a torment Ollie like this is unacceptable, especially when you don't even get new information. You could afford a touch more delicacy, amongst other things. Guess I went too far, or for nothing at all. Can you tell me how you got to be in the waiting room? That was basically just after Miss Ophelia started bringing the serums into the patient's rooms. I hadn't had much to help her with then, so I decided to hang out at the waiting room to wait. But no one can confirm that, so for all we know, we could have snuck into Dr. Thales' room. If Ollie's trying to establish that he had an alibi, it's not working. There's new information. Please add it to your testimony. I went straight to the waiting room while Miss Ophelia brought the serums to the patient's rooms. To confirm, no one witnessed this, so you have no alibi. I don't know what alibi is, but you already said that first part. Trying not to repeat yourself too much, Miss Lang. Fair enough, then allow me to ask something different. Did you see which serums were brought into which room? Yeah, death was brought to Mr. Whedon's room and immortality to the other guy. Exactly as expected, unfortunately for you. If it was the other way around, there might be some reason to believe you weren't behind it. Are you trying to get me to lie so you can catch me slipping up? Well, it won't work. Besides, if it happened like that, it would be Miss Ophelia's mistake, and she didn't do it either. That was a mixed factorial level slimy trick. You should be ashamed of yourself, Miss Lang. Yeah, exactly. That's. Wait, what? Nails with a shot. Damn. Actually, I don't think that was risky at all. The chaos of the shift change would have masked your movements. I don't know about that. If anything, it would have just made it harder for me to sneak around. More people in the hallway means more people who could have seen me, you know? And it's not that simple. Oh, I already got the spot, didn't I? Agree to disagree? What do you mean by that? Sure, maybe the hallway people wouldn't have seen anything out of the ordinary, but what about the patient inside? No way he'd miss me. Especially if you think I swapped the serum with the one in the room next door using the vent. A convincing argument. I bet it would make your testimony even more convincing itself. Okay, I'll add it. The man in the hospital gown wouldn't see me meddling with the serum. No way around that. Not true. As Ophelia said, he was sleeping, so... And tell me again why we're trusting your client's word on this. Aside from a measly testimony, you have no proof that this was actually the case. Therefore, I'm forced to assume that Ollie is actually correct. Are you now? Yeah, you big meanie. Of course I'm right. I trust Ophelia's word. but I don't know whether I ought to prove it or not. Plus, there's always the possibility that I might be thinking about this the wrong way. This is the last one I can press harder on. But what about... Stop it! Stop arguing! It's really stressing me out. This lying, this bickering is hardly productive. I've decided to witness here. You just have to accept that you will get the chance to examine that bet. You also have to accept this penalty. How frustrating. The man in the hospital gown would have seen me meddling with the serum. No way around that. I'm not sure of any evidence regarding this. Ollie, I know you did it. Why would you say such a terrible thing? Defense, what did they say about badgering the witness? You better believe it's a penalty. Try harder next time. You're nothing but a bully, you know that, meaning this lawyer. My mistake. I'm not saying he gave the death serum to him. No. That'd be too far. I don't know why this statement keeps sticking out to me, but I mean, he was wearing a hospital gown, I'm pretty sure. I'm just thinking, because, like, he seems to know it's a man in a hospital gown. Did he go into that room at some point? Ollie, during this testimony, you made a point to never refer to Dr. Thales by name. I'm not making a point of anything. It's just hard for me to remember people's names. As you can see, Miss Lawyer and Mr. Whedon's sister. Miss Whedon would do just fine, you know. Right, so instead of calling him by his name, you refer to Dr. Thales more vaguely. With that guy, or the dead guy, and now the man in the hospital gown. Ollie, you should never have seen him face to face. Someone's asked, how did you know Dr. Thales was wearing a hospital gown? Ah! What kind of ridiculousness is this? There's no reason Ollie can't have seen the victim's gown. He was accompanying a nurse, who herself visited the victim's room to give him his serum. Yeah, they're right. That's when I saw him wearing that hospital gown. That goes against your previous testimony. You said you went to the waiting room before Ophelia started giving out the serums. Meaning we just caught you in yet another lie. No, I made a mistake. Never mind, ignore that. I didn't see the old guy after all. Why is it strange for you to assume he would have been in a hospital gown? He was a patient after all. That's what you'd expect him to wear. The witness has a point, so we could have phrased his original statement better. You can hardly take 2 steps in a hospital without seeing those gowns everywhere you look. I don't buy it. Huh? Why not? Because he wasn't wearing one. I made my choice, Ollie. Even to you, I can have no mercy. For my friends and for the truth. There's a very good reason you wouldn't have assumed that the Thales would be wearing a hospital gown. You see, it's because I'm a lawyer. And this is that reason. Sure, buddy! I don't know if I've ever heard Factora speak that informally before. Maybe it's a good sign? I don't think it's a good sign. Decidedly not a good sign. We're almost there, so give us one more shot. Was he going to say something else then? See, I'm right. There's no one to think you'll be in a hospital gown. Which is that one line. Well, we know the reason. Sorry to bring your teacher into this, but you visited Mr. Whedon twice that day, yes? I guess so. As I'm sure you'll recall, he was not wearing a hospital gown of any sort, and he was supposedly the only patient you met that day. So you didn't have any reason to think Dr. Thales would be wearing one. Stop this. There's the only one explanation for this. Ollie, you did see Dr. Thales that day, when you were performing the swap with his serum. Because you are the real killer. And whose word are we going on that Mr. Whedon really wasn't wearing a hospital gown, Yours? Paula's? I hope you know the word of the defense team doesn't mean much. Of course not. We can just hear from the man himself. Ugh! Very well then, no matter what he says, this should be the final nail in the coffin for this case. Bailiff, call Mr. Whedon to the stand once more. Is Whedon gonna lie and say that he was wearing a hospital gown? That's what I'm wondering. Mr. Whedon, you know why you're here, yes? I do, though I'm not happy about it. Sophie, I'm disappointed in you. First you accused my sister, now my beloved student. All under the guise of searching for the truth. How disgusting. Mr. Whedon, I'm sorry, but it had to be this way. There was no other choice. It was meant to be a simple day. Nothing was supposed to happen at all. Nothing, except for me taking the death serum. Yet even that could not come to pass. Mr. Whedon? Fine then. I should not keep you all waiting. With regards to the question you called me to answer, I was wearing a hospital gown. What? You should have known. It was literally in your... It was literally in your thing with the logic lines at the start. They would do anything to protect each other. Order in the court. Witness, you're certain of this? You really were wearing a hospital gown that day? Of course I was. I was a patient, wasn't I? You're lying. I saw you. Me and Pala both. We saw you in that room with your regular suit. Oh, I don't know if we can trust your word on that. As a defense team, there may be a conflict of interest. I don't know if we can trust your word. You're lying to protect Ollie, aren't you? I was right about one thing. You two really will do anything for each other. You know perjury is illegal, right? You just committed a crime for him. Well, I was planning to kill myself anyway, so it's not like it really matters to me. These baseless accusations will go on no further. It was you who called Mr. Whedon to the stand in the first place, Miss Lang. And he has refuted your ridiculous theory in every sense of the word. We have no reason to believe Ali is guilty of this crime. Case closed. But someone else should be able to confirm it. What about all the other students that visited Mr. Whedon in the same day? If we call them, they should... This trial has gone on long enough, especially for a case as high profile as this. I can't stand you wasting more time by calling witnesses who won't say anything new. I'm afraid I have to agree with Mix Factoria here. As it stands, I refuse to allow you to call any witnesses not already inside this courtroom. Damn it, this isn't how it was supposed to go. Was I wrong? Was Ollie innocent this whole time? Wouldn't Beck on Cola know? Did I accuse a child of murder for nothing? Either way, if what Mr. Whedon said is allowed to stand, it's all over for us. No one else would, because these two are already saying it, but they're on the defense team. She's a defendant. He's dead. She wasn't there. Or they weren't there, sorry. And Beck and Cole is the only one left. Sophie! Pala? What is it? My brother's lying, I know he is. Hospital never gives out gowns to people who are just taking death serum. It wants to let people go out with dignity, not like medical lab rats. So there's no reason Brighton should have been wearing a hospital gown, even before we arrived. And even so, what difference will it make? As long as we can prove it, that also proves Ollie knew something he shouldn't about Dr. Thales. Meaning he must be the killer. Once we get that far, we're home free. So, this really will be the final nail in the coffin. No time to go looking for more evidence. We'll have to prove it with something already in the court record. Let's see. Thanks, pal. You really saved my ass again. Anytime. But now it's all up to you in there. Good luck, Sophie. Mr. Whedon, tell me something, will you? Yes? You certain this is the right thing to do? To lie and obscure the truth, even for Ollie's sake? I did not lie, Sophie. Mr. Whedon. That answers my question. Very well, if that's your choice, I shall not hold back. I'll prove that you're lying. Miss Lang, I don't need to remind you that I said I would give you one chance to prove your case. This is a chance you have so far floundered. If you can't make good on your word, I have no choice but to adjourn this trial immediately. And I hope you don't mind if I dole out a harsher punishment than usual for failed attempts. Perish the thought. You certainly seem full of yourself. Then let's hear it. How can you prove that I wasn't wearing a hospital gown on the day of the murder? With the badge. This is my final evidence. All this build-up and that's what you go with. At least your final evidence is consistent with all the rest. Also, completely meaningless. But I hope this is your final penalty too. Come on, not one more so close. Just think this through a little more. Alright, I'll give it one more shot. Easy. All we need to do to prove that you're lying is call a witness. Weren't you listening? We can't call any... I recall hearing that I can't call any witnesses not already inside this courtroom. So tell me, Mix Factoria, has Detective Cole left the building since his testimony? well, he's always supposed to be available for Factora's Beck and Cole, so... Detective and Cole! Of those in the courtroom this very moment, there are 5 who saw Mr. Whedon that day. Ollie, who I doubt will speak against his teacher's word. Myself, Paula and Ophelia, all of which you refused to hear out. And one more, Detective Ann Cole, who had to interrogate him as part of his investigation. We can trust an honourable police officer's word, right? If not him, who can we trust? So I ask again, is Beckham Cole in the building? Well, I don't see why he wouldn't be. I don't see why we shouldn't ask him. It'll only take a moment. Don't you agree, Mr. Whedon? No, there's no need. I already know what he's going to say. I was lying to you all. I wasn't really wearing a hospital gown that day. I'm sorry. So Miss Lang was right. You did commit perjury. I'm afraid so. Oh, why? Why would you lie for me? Because I believe in your innocence, Ollie. I know my students could never cause another person harm. That's why this ridiculous theory of Sophie's got me all worked up. But I really... I'd already decided this life is enough for me. Months ago, really. So, with no choice at all to lay it on the line to save my pupil. But it seems Sophie did not let that pass. But Mr. Whedon, I don't want you to go. I'll miss you too much, Mr. Whedon. That's why I... Speak up, Alden. Mr. Whedon, you still have no idea, huh? Let me lay out the facts once again, clearly this time. The only way for anyone other than Ophelia to have committed the murder is using that vent. A vent that only Ollie had the opportunity to crawl through. No, let me rephrase that. Not the only way to kill Dr. Thales. The only way to save your life, Mr. Whedon. And he must have done it. It's the only way he'd know Dr. Thales was wearing a hospital gown that day. Ollie ended one life to save another. This has just been irrefutably proven. I don't buy it for a second. There must be some other explanation. Why? Why do you have to do this? Couldn't have said it better myself. Why put Ollie through this torment, Sophie? For your client, please. No, not that. I was talking to you, Mr. Whedon. After all this time, do you still not understand? Ollie, what's got into you? It's been proven already. Stop trying to save me. I did it. I sold those serums. And by doing that, I killed a patient. It's all my fault. When I said I wanted to be a nurse when I grew up, that was a lie. A stupid lie I made up so I could accompany Miss Ophelia while she was carrying the serums. I wanted to be a teacher like you, because there's no one else like you, Mr. Whedon. Ollie, I know you probably hate me now after what I did. Not only did I get that scientist killed, I got in the way of your own death. How could you still like me after something like that? I could never hate you, Ollie. I think I understand. You did it for me, is that right? Swapping the 2 serums, I mean. In that case, you probably never expected Dr. Thales would pay the price for it. It wasn't your fault, Ollie. It's a terrible, terrible accident. Is that true, really? He must have known his actions would have consequences. That must have been a sacrifice he was willing to make. As I can understand, just like I'd do anything to save Paula, he'd do anything to save Brighton. But what about you? I know you were looking forward to it. To not being around. There's that, isn't there? Mr. Whedon, please don't go. I know I already said this 100 times, but we need you. I need you. There's no other teacher like you. If you leave, Ollie, I see now. This is my fault. I'm so sorry. Sorry? Sorry for what? I shouldn't have left you alone like that. I didn't know how much I meant to you. To you all. Please find it in your heart to forgive me. What are you talking about? Of course I forgive you. But still, I know what I did was selfish. I wasn't taking into account how you felt about saving you. And we've both been selfish. Huh? But that's not necessarily a bad thing, mind. Benefiting yourself isn't hurting others. And I was wrong, not just to choose death, but to do so when I did. I can see that by how much my choice affected you. Does that mean I'm going to live a little longer yet? I mean that much at least. But I'm going to retire. When the day comes, I don't want to put anyone else through that pain. But are you sure? You said you were doing it because you didn't want to forget. If you live even longer, won't you forget even more? Oh, how much does that really matter in the end? Even if I forget everything I know now, I'll still be the same person, planted by the same history. Whether I remember it or not, I will have always been your teacher. Oh, Mr. Whedon. Thank you. I'm so happy. Thank you so much. Harley, you're the best student a teacher could ask for. I can't wait to see the fine young man you'll surely grow up to be. I have to get out of prison anyway. It seems this case has reached a conclusion. But Mr. Whedon, you remain at the stand. Is there something you'd like to say? There is, actually. Based on the defense's theory, Ollie could not have killed anyone on his own. Hella, you played your part in this mess too, didn't you? I'm sorry, Brighton. I did what had to be done. You may certainly see it that way. But when Ollie killed by accident to save my life, you have no such clean motivations. For revenge, really? All of this for your petty revenge? But the Thales was no angel, certainly. To take his life for such a foul reason is to stoop to his level. You can call it revenge, or you can call it justice. No, justice is what will be served in a court where you are tried for your crimes. Dress it up any way you like. You never had to get my death serum appointment involved. Sister? No, I misspoke. I cannot call you my sister anymore. I hope I never see your face again. Goodbye. Can't really blame it. Well, it appears that's over with. In a sense, all of this happening was thanks to the death serum's mere existence. Mr. Whedon's decision to take it was instrumental to Paula's plan, and what Ollie was trying to stop. I'm happy he has decided to postpone that decision. Was it really a choice he should have been making at all? The fact that he changed his mind implies we may not always be able to tell what the right time is. But when life would never end otherwise, it's a choice that has to be made eventually. I mean, you live long enough, the chances are you'll accidentally die anyway, or get murdered like in this scenario. Some people just don't know what to choose. That was Whedon. Sometimes I think that's me. I saw a bit of myself in him. That's probably why I was so afraid of him. I have exactly one issue with what Mr. Whedon said before he left. He claimed his decision to end his life at that time was a moral failure. I disagree. Life is, of course, a blessing. That's the reason I'm so harsh on suspected killers. And part of that blessing is our choice now, not nature's, to choose when it ends. I do not judge him for choosing what he did, though I can still be glad he changed his mind. I think the point is, dying while you've still got students will cause pain, but if you retire first, that way you don't have any young, impressionable minds looking up to you who would lose you. Is that a good thing, though? Is that something that should be within our control? And I'm about to make some stupid argument that dying of old age is better because it's natural. And the world is certainly better with immortality than without. But when we weighed against eternity, I don't know if death is a choice we can understand the gravity of. When I was scheduled for my second shot of immortality serum, I considered not showing up. Imposing a deadline, that was the idea. Something that would help me experience life. But, as you can see from my youthful looking face, I didn't do it. I think back to that choice a lot. Taking control away, at my own discretion, would I be happier? These are questions of much higher weight than the kinds we answer at this court. We have come to answer a dilemma of facts, namely the guilt or innocence of one woman, for which we have reached a conclusion. I hereby declare the defendant, Ophelia Payne. report is adjourned. September 25th, 3:30 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 4, the Blue Room with the judge once more. Ah, you see you've come back. Wow, what a case that was. And I'm only sad that I could only hang out in this defendant lobby the whole time. I could overhear what was going on, but I couldn't exactly see it very well. I got some of the bailiffs to describe what was going on for me as well, because I am a bit hard of hearing, and I'm also a painting, so it's a bit difficult. But wow, this was a great case. I very much liked it. That's it then. I proved Ophelia's innocence, sure, but now 3 other people are going to jail in her place. Ollie, Mr. Whedon, and Pal. Don't know why I thought this would be simple. Court cases are never cut and dry. There's ever a big conspiracy to unveil. We're all just people. People who make mistakes. And sometimes those mistakes have deadly consequences. Hey, Ophelia. Seems like you're about as pleased as I am. You're correct. I'm exceedingly grateful for your help, Sophie. Truly. I didn't think it would come at such a cost. I suppose it never really occurred to me that in order for me to be innocent, someone else had to be guilty. I know. I wasn't expecting any of this. I'm so angry. I mean, that's understandable. Your trust was taken advantage of. No, I'm angry with myself. Pala, you understand, right? This must have been how you felt. And that the Thales rushed you to giving that botched treatment. Ophelia. I'm innocent, technically. I'm not the one responsible for this, but I had the power to stop it. I wasn't being a good nurse. I was distracted and wasn't cognizant of what was happening around me. If I checked both serum bags when I noticed the error, we'd never be in this situation. I was mentoring a child and I wasn't careful. I'm so ashamed of myself. And we wouldn't be here and Mr. Whedon wouldn't get to see Ollie grow up. Someone else's life shouldn't be the cost. I know what you mean. Frankly, that's all I was thinking about that day. The day Tails ruined my life. I couldn't stop blaming myself, even though I knew who was really at fault. I'm angry at myself for that too. I should have realized how much pain you were in from that day. When you quit, I should have reached out to you. Maybe we could have reached an understanding. Maybe you wouldn't have felt the need to take it out against the Thales. But I didn't, and now we're here. Not only was I a bad nurse, I was a bad friend. You deserved better. You did the best you could. You didn't know what I was going through. That's no excuse. Well, I mean, she did accuse her, she did frame her for murder, so... Well, frame her for an accident. But Pala, what will you do now, since you did play your part in his death? What else is there to do? I accepted from the start that I'd receive punishment for my crimes. I can't accept this. I had everything I could, Pala, but I still couldn't save you. And now you have to be tried because of my actions. I'm responsible for your crimes coming to light. Is that a bad thing? If I was anyone else, I'd have had every reason to be furious at you. You betrayed my trust, you even used me as part of your murder plot. Your own brother denounced you for it, and yet, I can't possibly be mad, because I look at you and I see a reflection of myself. We've both done a lot of wrong in our lives. In this world with such high moral standards, it's hard to bounce back from them. So that makes me even more upset that I can't do anything to help you. You're on about one thing, Sophie. And what would that be? You did save me, whether you realize it or not. Do you know what a murder charge as an adult gets you these days? Life in prison without parole. That carries a lot more weight than it used to, you understand? I resigned myself to that fate. Someone like me, so consumed with nothing but hatred for Thales, is what I thought I deserved. That's why it was so hard for me to accept your kindness towards me. Or my feelings towards you. Is that also why you didn't seem to care about my, obsessiveness? But you've shown me a better path. As you proved, I didn't kill anyone. Worst I can be charged with is attempted murder. the punishment for that isn't so cruel. It only takes a finite amount of years from you. In the face of an infinite lifespan, that basically rounds down to 0. Do you get it, Sophie? Because of your actions, we can meet again. However long that takes. Are you saying... Of course I am. I think I'm tearing up. Seems I'm not alone. Oh, I'm sorry. I just couldn't stop myself. Don't worry, I understand. I hate bittersweet endings, so I just want to reiterate that I really can't thank you enough, Sophie. Both of you, for all the work you put into defending me. I know this may not have turned out the way any of us expected, but in spite of everything... spite? Get it? You put your all into helping me back there. I guess I did. Anytime, Ophelia. And Paula. Know that I'll be first in line to defend you when your trial comes. Of course, I wouldn't have it any other way. After all, I love you. I love you, too. 50 years later. 205. Well, you don't look a day over 155, I must say. Yeah, well, 189 now. An old trinket. Date? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Time? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Gold Quill Public Library. The longer you live, the harder it is to remember your past. I've never forgotten. 50 years I've had to wait, but not one day of that was she absent from my thoughts. This is where we said we'd meet again, after she was released. I haven't seen it in 50 years. There were too many memories, I couldn't. But it feels like it hasn't changed at all, like everything else in the static infinity. Oh, there's been some subtle changes. There's a new librarian for one. A nice enough fellow, but not the same. Not nearly enough compared to... Paula! Sophie? Sophie! It's really you! Of course it's me. I wouldn't miss this for the world. Oh, but you got a little something on your face. Oh, this? Yeah, they wouldn't let me keep any cybernetics in prison. Oh, right, you're right. How do you look even cooler when you're not a cyborg? You think I should keep the eye patch? But I hope that's not all you came here to tell me. No, of course not. It's been far too much time since I last saw you. Every day without you felt excruciating. But not excruciatingly long. Time moves faster as you age. I'm a lot older than anyone should be. Maybe it's a blessing in disguise. When the days blur together, you practically skip the boring stuff. But I don't want to live like that forever. Identity is a part of life. Better when we're not overwhelmed by it, of course, but I prefer to be in a situation where I get to appreciate it. You finally accepted that, have you? I'm glad. I remember a time when you would do anything for a bit of excitement. I'm no thrill seeker at heart. Something about those times just messed up my dopamine receptors. It was because of you that I didn't go off the deep end. Oh? How so? It's a little embarrassing, but visiting this library every day helped ground me, give me something to work towards. Something besides just reading the books, I imagine. You got me. I just wanted to be with you. I was always really fond of you. That's an understatement. She's not gonna call me out like that. Yeah. Don't worry, it's nothing to be ashamed about. I was the same with you. Just that she hasn't seen it in 50 years. Then she says she visits the library every day. I'm confused by that. Don't worry, it's nothing to be ashamed about. I was the same with you. Really? Of course. Do you think I fell in love with you out of nowhere? The one thing that kept me going whilst in prison was the thought of being by your side again. Must have been a pretty good motivator. Kept me sane for 5 whole decades. Wow, I wish I could say I was that steadfast. I thought about it. A few times, actually. While taking the death serum. Life was hard without you. But I told myself I had to be strong, so I could see you again. I'm so glad I did. Sophie, you are strong. After everything that's happened, you have to be the strongest woman I know. And I'm here now. So you never have to worry about something like that ever again, okay? Yeah. Thank you, Paula. I'm much better now. I don't be so much of a downer these days. I want to give my all to supporting you, no matter what may pass. And I want to treasure all the time we spend together. Yeah, me too. In that case, let's make a promise. I'll have to know what I'm promising first. Let's promise to spend our lives together till we're old and grey. Huh? I like that idea. It's kind of scary, but somehow I can't wait. Let's do it, Paula. I promise. Credits. We're gonna get any bonus scenes, maybe, in these credits. I wanna see Declan Cole again. You know, I just realized I kinda don't have a job anymore. And I doubt this new librarian is keen to give up their spot. I guess I could live off benefits, but I doubt that would be very fulfilling. Say, do you know any law schools that might accept me? I think I might try becoming a legal aid full time. I don't think you can with the criminal record, but I don't know, maybe it's different in the future. So you plan to skip your next immortality serum appointment? Wow, you're a lot braver than me. I could never do something like that. But thanks for letting me know in advance. I'll tell your doctor to cancel that for you. Pal's doing the same thing, right? That's what I thought. I'm really happy for you two. In the meantime, if you need any treatment done, I'll be right here. I had to serve some time for perjuring myself, it's true, though not as much as my sit as Paula. Seems I still have some trouble acclimating myself to not using that word. Oh, Ollie? No, I haven't seen him yet, but I plan to later today. What am I doing back here again, you ask? Don't worry, it's just an ordinary checkup. We kept that room special for you. Or maybe all the rooms just look the same. From Professor Layton. Damn. Yeah, there's a lot of them free background packs. Coming up on my 375th birthday, but who's counting? I'm content to keep living a while. Just wish the rest of the world would catch up to my pace. What's that? You say it's all thanks to me that you were able to capture the real criminal? And my theory that the serums will swap was right all along. Huh, I knew I could do it. What'd I do again? Well, I mean, just existing was good enough for that last part. Super Paper Mario! A bunch of stuff where music came from. I never got to congratulate you for your victory over me 50 years ago. I congratulate you now. Well, you get to see my front-facing sprite. But you probably have better things to worry about, so forget I said anything. I know you'd say that winning or losing a case isn't what matters. In fairness, when you were most at a loss was precisely the moment at which you were winning. But you uncovered the truth, so you have my respect, Miss Lang. Or should I call you Sophie? Well, you're welcome. Hey, nostalgia. People Park. Hey, what's up, dude? My samurai dogs are still going strong 500 years later. Oh, Larry Butts. Imagine a 500-year-old Larry Butts. Even 500 years later, if something smells. Let's see. He said he'd be somewhere around here. Ah, hey, Mr. Whedon. My, is that you, Ollie? You're all grown up. Yeah, it's been forever. I concur, and you carry yourself like a gentleman, I do say. I'm so proud of you. It's good to see you again, my friend. Whoa, it's the end. Well, what a case. Everything just fit together very well. Logic-wise, I don't think there was anything that I had a problem with. Even some of the testimonies I had a struggle on, weren't too bad. The only time I had to use a walkthrough, I think, was when I was having to find out how to finish that investigation. So the minor nitpick might be a better indication of what you have to do in terms of examining things, especially because I didn't examine the vent. I thought I had checked everywhere, but it turns out you could examine the vent and I didn't know that. But maybe that was just me. In terms of the characters, I like them all very much. Good red herring with Brighton, and then he turned out to be quite a good guy. Pala, the spiteful lover herself, also very compelling character, although kind of curious about that experimental treatment. Wonder what in the heck he was up to. I would like to see more from this universe, although I understand that this is a one-off kind of dealio. And we had a lot of discussion about, what you would do if you were immortal. And I think I've said this in a previous video. I think I would still just keep taking the immortality serum as long as possible. Because there's always stuff I want to do. I'd learn every language, watch every film, read every book, and when I forget about to do it again. I want to live so long that I forget the plot to Ace Attorney and then play through that again, if that's even possible, because it's been ingrained into my mind now. And there was definitely a lot of things that we touched upon, like the memory thing. I thought the memory vanishing was going to be more relevant to the case itself, but that ended up being more of just an existential thing. But yeah, it's interesting to think about if people could become immortal with just all your memories slowly sort of disappear over time. I remember my childhood was generally good, I just don't remember anything about it. That's kind of a thing already, because there's a period of childhood amnesia, but even your teenage years, you're more likely to remember them. But if you're 700 years old and got too many memories, then that could be an issue. But you know, that's all the more reason to start a diary or something. Start a YouTube channel, so you can leave a little bit of yourself behind as a record. And if you're watching this and you've got any thoughts on what you would do, it could be interesting to talk about in the comments below, or just your thoughts on this case, which I'm very glad I chose to play, and very glad that I could finish today. It was quite a good length as well, because we got, I think this is the 8th episode, right? It's the 7th or 8th episode, if I'm not mistaken. So about 7 to 8 hours, which is pretty good length for a case like this, for a competition case. As I said in the credits before, this was for the Soil is Pink competition. And next time I'll also be playing, because I've decided what case we're going to play next time. It's also a competition entrant, and I've heard good things about it, and it's from an author whose cases I've never played before. This was my first CodingAnt case, but I have played one of Sparrow's cases, or Ikuzunos' cases, before, but the next case I'm planning on playing is by two people whose work I have no experience of, so that'll be interesting, but you'll have to wait for that one next week. I'll see you then, hopefully, because hopefully you like this and you want to watch more of my playthroughs. It's every week, every Friday, and I've been churning them out like crazy during the summer break, so I've already got a massive backlog. I'll likely have even more by the time this comes out. That's pretty much it. See ya.